Welcome back to the Watch and Cut channel.
Don't ever do that again.
I'm your host, Alex, and we got an awesome blade for you guys tonight to check out. So let's give a big thanks to Mr. Dirk Warning for sending this really cool Interface 79 along for me to check out. And also, let's not forget to thank Mr. Jason Van Kemp himself for providing a lot of pertinent content information and a few photos and things like that for this review. So thanks to both of you for making this happen tonight. I'm a big fan, guys. Wow. Talk about innovation, something new and different that hasn't been done before. I mean, wow. So without further ado, I bring to you tonight Interface number 79. Innovation is just one of those words we use more loosely nowadays. I think as a consumer in this ever so saturated knife market, true innovation is becoming harder and harder to develop, and understandably so. So many key players worldwide designing and manufacturing knives at ever improving processes. It's not easy to be new or different nowadays. So let's begin by thanking Dirk Warning's YouTube channel for providing this on loan. If you're not subscribed to Dirk, you should go and do so right away. He's got the coolest stuff, an amazing mixture of gallery of knives, and he shares daily, twice a day as a matter of fact. And he's a good friend, so do me a favor and go check out his channel and subscribe. Next, let's meet your maker, Jason Van Kemp. Before becoming a full-time custom knife maker, Jason worked as a manufacturing engineer for a major aerospace company in Southern California. Jason is also FAA certified in airframe and power plant mechanics. He also worked in aerospace for over 13 years. In 2019, he released the Interface prototype. Now, a lot of attention is coming to Rise with this knife, and I can say without hesitation, Jason has come out with something truly innovative in the knife world. Yep, something different. Some new ideas combined with some old improved ideas. When first observing the construction of the blade, I thought to myself, Eureka! Someone finally did it correctly. Not just some bulky blade wrapped in carbon fiber, but something constructed solid while retaining the properties of a thin, hollow ground blade and retaining some of the same cutting performance as any of today's steel blades when relating to cutting geometry. So meet the interface number 79. The interface is in the Goldilocks zone of the specs if you really think about it. The blade is 3.6 inches, which is a sweet spot regarding most everyday carry. Not too big, but not too small. And you can still kind of pull it out in the office. The handle is 4.8 inches and fits most people's hands due to its neutral design, which brings us to an overall 8.4 inches, which weighs a staggering 1.6 ounces. There's a lot of attributes to this amazing set of specs, and we will get more into that in a moment as we dissect this complex puzzle array of carbon fiber, titanium, and M390. The construction starts with the bottom layer of carbon fiber with tabs milled in. Then the blade is inserted, a piece of M390 heat treated by an even heat, the industry standard, at 63 HRC. Keep in mind, guys, 63 Rockwell hardness is pretty high on the scale, and that's impressive. The swedge flat grind tapers off to a very nice acute angle. Then a very fine edge is added on. The knife out of the box comes razor sharp, and this one had some use in the last 6 months, so I just wanted to bring it back with some nice touch-up. It's a razor sharp, thinly ground blade. It's a hand-ground blade, no doubt about it. There's no evidence of the two materials bonding. It looks like one piece of carbon fiber with hardened steel magically inserted somehow. The profile is handsome, it's useful, it's utilitarian. Inlaid in the back of the blade is a C-shaped steel insert, which allows the knife to be a carbon fiber blade, but with a steel blade tang, which meets with a steel lock bar interface. Also, to complete the function towards the front of the C is a detent keyhole, which is integrated to the detent lock in place. Designing it this way rather than the ball shape allows a crisper break, allowing more of a tightly locked blade position when it's closed. This area of the interface is quite complicated, but let's try to cover the basics. It's a steel race multi-row bearing system. This allows a featherweight blade to close and drop almost like any other steel blade on bearings. Another attribute to this amazing action is the tolerances that Jason spent engineering. Everything is precisely fit and torqued down just right. The action on this blade is not affected by gravity, regardless of its lightweight nature. It glides open and close with a light, controlled, frictionless feel when the blade rotates on the pivot closed. The handle is the most subjective area when it comes to a knife, as this will relate to your own hand size and preferences. I can only go off my preferences, and what I like is a neutral handle that accommodates different grips comfortably. Another thing I prefer is a lightweight and strong construction. I prefer to lean more towards a blend of the two, with a little bit more emphasis on the strength versus the lightweight. My hand size is almost too large for medium gloves and almost too small for large gloves. The interface accomplishes all these areas for me perfectly, and that's what I like to highlight about it. So let's go over the construction. First, you have a finely milled carbon fiber scale. What's really nice about these is that the outer edges are all contoured, not just some flat slabs. You also have 4 major constructed high-grade titanium parts to assemble the rest of this knife. All have been carefully machined to get the max weight reduction possible, as well as not forgetting to contour and deburr any potential hotspots. The backspacer on this one reveals the model and the serial number, and also indicates the info inside of the scale. Finally, it's all been carefully bonded and assembled by Jason. All these knives are CNC constructed but hand finished and assembled. The clip is super interesting to me. One thing I've always wished for is a shorter clip in most knives. I don't like the look of a long pocket clip. It makes for more snags and more scratches if you happen to lean on something. So when I saw the clip on the interface, I smiled. This is what I've always wanted on a knife. No exposed screws. I can appreciate the way Jason purposefully kept the use of fasteners to a minimum. Less screws is more attractive. So now finally I think it's only fair I share my gripes on the interface. The first thing I want to mention is the anno process Jason is using. He's getting some stunning interpretations of some colors, but yet in less of a year's use you can see these are easily wearing off. I can only speculate that this is due to the prep process, but I'm not an expert, so I'm only speculating. But most of my knives have not faded like this in years of ownership. Number 2. I can see how some may have concerns about the blade strength. It's constructed of less steel, therefore some may consider it a major weak point in not being able to pry with your knife, or not really use any lateral pressure. Some do use their blades like this in an everyday manner. I personally never looked at the knife in this manner. Rather, I'm just looking at it as strictly a cool cutting tool, and I intend to use it in just that way. Depending on who you are, a Sabenza may make you feel more secure to beat hard rather than a blade made of carbon fiber and with a steel insert. But in all honesty, it wouldn't deter me from owning one, caring for one, and using it. Lastly, as much as I love the low profile clip, one thing I didn't realize is how much of the clip I actually use inside my pocket to position my hand forward on top of the flipper to index it. So maybe half an inch longer would benefit the knife just a little bit. Overall, there's no doubt I will be adding one of these to my collection. Jason has done something new and exciting, and he's created something innovative, and he's pushed the boundaries of strength and lightweight construction. And also, let's not forget to add, he's added quite a bit of style in the mix. To me, the interface is a win. I can't wait to see what Jason comes out with next. Don't sleep on these guys. Make sure you follow VC Edge and get on his mailer. So, what do you guys think? Oh man, I have to add one of these to my collection. I cannot believe how wonderful this knife is, guys. It is so fun to bring out too, because as soon as I put this thing in somebody's hands, I always get the same facial expression of shock. Like, is this really, like, is this a plastic knife or what's going on here, you know? And it's been made recently, April. All right.
Welcome, Detroit. We'll run through some of these comments as you're opening that up. Will says these things are amazing because he saw one.
I'm smiling because I just pulled the bag out and put it in my hand. It's deceptively light.
Yeah, the packaging adds some weight to it. So when you're pulling it out of the shipping box, there's a bunch of foam and some stuff in the cardboard box. You don't really get the feeling yet.
I think the packaging weighs more than the knife.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow, that is snappy. That is impressive. I like this very, very much. It's really cool. I definitely plan to add one to the knife box, and there is no doubt about that. And we will definitely see one in my future, I hope. Anyways, so big thanks to the two dudes, Dirk and Jason, for making this video happen for me. And I had a lot of fun making it, and make sure you stay tuned for the next one by being subscribed and hit that bell notification. You guys know I don't post very often, so make sure you hit the bell so you know when new content comes out and about. And we'll catch you all on the next one.